Greetings and welcome to online lecture 1 on unit number 6, that is advanced air conditioning systems. In advanced air conditioning systems, we are going to discuss 5 advanced air conditioning systems along with the different configurations of heat pump. These 5 air conditioning systems are generally used in combination with conventional system in order to enhance the energy efficiency of the conventional system. Today's lecture, we will discuss the desiccant-based air conditioning systems. These are the contents of today's lecture. Uh, the main component of desiccant-based air conditioning system is desiccants. So first of all, we'll see what is meant by desiccants and sorbents. Then actually this is a dehumidifier. So a generic dehumidification process that is called the cyclic dehumidification process along with these desiccants. Then 3 basic dehumidifiers it develops, that is rotary desiccant dehumidifier, that is with the help of solid desiccants, and the liquid spray tower, solid pack tower. So these desiccant dehumidifiers are generally used in combination with conventional systems. Then that cycle is called as a hybrid cycle. So we are going to discuss that hybrid cycle along with the psychrometric process. Also, we'll see what are the advantages of this desiccant system, as well as under which circumstances these desiccant systems are used. Uh, the sorbents and desiccants. Sorbents are the material which have affinity to absorb any vapor or liquid substances. The process is referred to absorption if the chemical change takes place, and adsorption if no chemical change takes place. Desiccants are generally available in liquid and solid forms. They are subset of sorbents, and they have a affinity to absorb water molecules. Liquid desiccants generally absorbs the water molecules, while solid desiccants adsorb the water molecules and hold them on their vast surface. So these are the solid desiccants. Initially, they uh, hold them on their vast surface, and then it is deposited in the porous structure. So this way it absorbs the water molecules when the air which comes in contact with this solid desiccants. So there is no chemical reaction takes place, unlike the absorption process. So commonly used liquid desiccants are calcium chloride and lithium chloride. So these 2 liquid desiccants are generally available in powder form, and their solution with water is used for the dehumidification process. In solid desiccants, there are 4 types of solid desiccants are used. That is activated aluminum, that is available in granules, then activated carbon, then silica gel, and molecular sieves. So these solid desiccants are generally embedded or deposited on any solid surface for application of dehumidification, because it absorbs the moisture. It has an affinity to absorb moisture. So these are embedded on any solid surface in order to absorb the moisture particles. Now, as far as the water holding capacity is concerned, you can see this graph. On y-axis, we have percentage relative humidity, and on y-axis, that is the capacity of holding capacity of water vapor per 100 grams of adsorbent. So we can see that silica gel is generally suitable for absorbing the moisture from high humidity air, which when it exceeds suppose 60% relative humidity, then in that circumstances the silica gel is best amongst all. But if we have to use these desiccants for low humidity applications, generally below 60% humidity, then calcium chloride, calcium oxide is best amongst all. So this is a graphical characteristics of this desiccant. So that's why silica gel is extensively used as a solid desiccant for humid climate. Now the generic dehumidification process, that is the cyclic dehumidification process. So the cyclic dehumidification process, it mainly consists of three processes: process 1 to 2, 2 to 3, and 3 to 1. So this process is represented with the help of moisture content versus vapor pressure of the desiccant material. So at point 1, the desiccant material has a very low vapor pressure. That's why when the humid air, when this desiccant material is exposed to the humid air, the moisture from the air it absorbs. So this process is called as a sorption process. So during this process, the moisture from the air it absorbs. So during this process, its temperature as well as vapor pressure increases. Then once it reaches to the saturation level, then when the desiccant, this material, when it is exposed to the high temperature airstream, then it gives up that moisture to the that high temperature air, because high temperature air having a low vapor pressure as compared to the desiccant. So the obviously it gives up, and as because it exposed to the high temperature, its vapor pressure is slightly increases here, and its temperature also increases. So 2 to 3 process is called as a desorption process. Means this process is called as desorption. During this process, the desiccant material gives up its moisture to the air. And then finally, to come to the initial point, there is a cooling of this desiccant material happens to complete the cycle. So this is a generic cyclic dehumidification process, so which mainly consists of a charging, which is called as a sorption process, and discharging, so that is called as a desorption process, and final process is a cooling. But in practice, generally there are two processes happen: sorption and reactivation or regeneration process. So suppose this is a desiccant wheel. This is a wheel on which the solid desiccant material is embedded with the help of this honeycomb structure. So this honeycomb structure is coated with adsorbent material. Uh, so initially there are two airstream: the process airstream and reactivation air. So when the process airstream, that is the air which is to be dehumidified, when it is made to flow over this solid desiccant material. So as this is a humid air and the vapor pressure of this material is low, so this material absorbs this moisture. So that process is called as 1 to 2. Also there is a slight, because of absorption of latent heat, its temperature slightly increases. That is 1 to 2. Then 2 to for achieving 2 to 3 process, this desiccant wheel, as it rotates, so this portion comes down, and then this actually this portion which has already absorbed the moisture, it comes in contact with the hot air. So the hot air is called as a reactivation air. So the reactivation air is made to flow over this air heater, so it gets heated, and when this hot air is made to flow through this desiccant material, so that air absorbs this moisture, or desiccant uh, wheel or desiccant material gives up its moisture to the air. So that process is called as 2 to 3. So this process is called as a reactivation process. So where uh, the desiccant wheel is discharged. So then in the next cycle, when this portion again goes up, then it comes in contact with air. So initially when it comes in contact with the air, initially first it cools, that is 3 to 1, and then again it after cooling it further absorb the moisture. So 3 to 1 and 1 to 2, these processes happen simultaneously in this particular second cycle. So this way, actually, it uh, removes the moisture content for the processor. So this supply dehumidified air is used for the processing for any industrial purposes or comfort air conditioning process. So this is an animated view of this desiccant wheel and this desiccant rotor principle. And this particular system is called as a rotary desiccant dehumidification system, which mainly consists of a rotor which has embedded a desiccant material, and that rotor generally rotates at a very low speed. So you can imagine that its speed is hardly 10 to 15 RPM. So it rotates because uh, alternately it comes in contact with process air as well as reactivation air. When it comes in contact with process air, actually sorption takes place, and when it comes in contact with reactivated air, desorption takes place. So again, in the next cycle, whatever the heat first it cools, that is cooling and sorption. So cooling and sorption happens here, and heat desorption process happens here. So this process air, that is a dry air, which is used for any process application or comfort cooling. So two streams are used, process air as well as reactivation air. So this is called as a rotary desiccant dehumidification process. So such kind of honeycomb structures are used, and this solid desiccant material is deposited on this honeycomb structure. So absorb the moisture when it comes in contact with the process fluid or process air, and it again gives up this moisture to the hot air. Then liquid spray tower. So this is a liquid desiccant dehumidification system. So it mainly consists of two spray towers. One spray tower which is used for sorption purpose, and second spray tower which is used for desorption purpose. Now the liquid tower or tower which is at the left hand side, there is a cooling coil. So this is nothing but our refrigeration system, we can say. So hot and humid air is made to flow over this coil. So this air gets cooled, and simultaneously the desiccant, liquid desiccant sprayed over this particular coil. So this because as the air, with hot and humid air, when it comes in contact with this coil, it gets cooled, and when it comes in contact with this liquid desiccant, it gets dehumidified as well. So the process of cooling and dehumidification happens simultaneously. So the dry and cooled air is produced, which is used for any application, comfort application as well as any process application. Then as this liquid desiccant, it already absorbed the moisture. So that liquid desiccant is called as a dilute liquid desiccant. So this dilute liquid desiccants, that is shown by this green line, then it flows this way. When this flows this way in the heat exchanger, it absorbs heat from this strong liquid desiccants. As this is a hot line, this is a cold line, so it absorbs heat. Then it is collected in the reservoir. So from the reservoir, it is pumped into the right hand tower. So it is when before distributing in the tower, it is made to that air is made to flow through the heater. The air gets heated. Sorry, that liquid dilute liquid desiccants is heated first, and then it is sprayed in the tower. So in the tower, the atmospheric air is circulated. So as this is a hot liquid desiccant, that is a diluted desiccant because it carries moisture also. When it comes in contact with this air, so the air take away this moisture, and the air becomes hot and humid. And the liquid desiccants then loses its moisture, and it becomes a strong liquid desiccant because it has a less quantity of, or almost negligible quantity of, water vapor. Then this is a black line. So this is already hot line. So hot, strong liquid. So some heat it gives up to this uh, green line, and then again it is collected in the reservoir. So it is slightly cool, and then again it is pumped into the reservoir. So the tower for absorbing the moisture. This complete the cycle. So this dry cooled air is used for the any uh, applications, maybe comfort application as well as process application. So this is liquid desiccant spray tower, where the liquid desiccants like calcium chloride or lithium chloride is used. And here in this tower, the sorption process happens, and this tower there is a desorption process takes place. So this dehumidifier is used in combination with vapor compression cycle. We can see here. So this is a chiller, or with the help of chiller, the liquid desiccant is chilled. So this chilled liquid desiccant, it's pumped into this liquid tower where there is a package material. It comes in contact with process fluid. So process fluid loses its moisture here. So the liquid desiccants becomes uh, uh, the diluted solution. So this diluted solution is again through heat exchanger, uh, then through heat exchanger it is sprayed in the reactivation or regenerator. So where with the help of a regenerator air, it gives up this moisture, and it again strong solution it produces. The strong solution first it is cooled here, and then further it passes through the chiller, and it gets cooled and then sprayed. So the same system is used in combination with the air cooled condenser. So sorry, this is a chiller. So in combination with conventional system. So conventional system, then it only the role of conventional system is only to remove the sensible heat, and the desiccant liquid it removes the latent heat. So marginal load is reduced. So that's why when it is used in combinations, so generally in uh, any cooling applications or any air conditioning application, especially cooling applications, so cooling and dehumidification process happens. But if we are using this desiccant desiccants along with the vapor compression system or evaporating cooling coils, then the cooling coil handles only a sensible heat, while desiccant handles the latent heat. So obviously the load on the cooling coil or load on the air conditioner reduces marginally. That's why it is suitable where there is a high latent heat load. So this is a liquid desiccant air conditioning system. Then the solid desiccants are also used in towers. So again, it consists of the solid pack tower. It consists of two towers, and both towers are filled with the solid desiccant material. Uh, so these towers used alternately for sorption and desorption process. Now, in the first cycle, this tower acts used for sorption process. So the ambient air, first it is pre-cooled in the cooler, then that it is made to flow through this packed uh, solid tower. When it comes in contact with this solid desiccants, the moisture is removed. So it is already cooled here, the moisture is removed. Then this is the process air. Then the cold and dehumidified air is used for the application. So it is produced. So this is, and simultaneously the reactivated air, it is made to flow through the second tower. So this tower is already have a moisture content in it. So this hot air, because the heater is used, this hot air take away this moisture content, and it is exhausted out. Then in the next cycle, because this is already filled with the moisture content, so reverse thing happen in the next cycle. The ambient air is made to flow through this tower where the sorption takes place, and then that air is used for the processing. And the reactivated air then alternately with the help of this wall, this chambers used alternately. So in the first cycle, if it is used for sorption process, in the next cycle, the same chamber is used for the desorption process. So this happens alternately. So this is called as a solid pack tower. So again, uh, this is a dehumidifier. So for cooler, the separate cooler is used for cooling purpose. So wherever the process is cooling and dehumidification, there generally the cooler is required. So if there is only a dehumidification is required, then this system is sufficient. Otherwise, the separate cooler is required to remove the sensible heat from the air, ambient air. Then the hybrid desiccant dehumidification and air conditioning system. So this is a schematic layout of hybrid system. So it mainly consists of, this is a rotary desiccant dehumidifier, then heat pipe assembly. Heat pipe here, the heat pipe is the pipe where one portion acts as an evaporator, other portion acts as a condenser, and the internal fluid, it moves from evaporator to condenser through the porous material, like capillary, due to capillary action. So the conventional system, evaporator, or maybe a optional indirect evaporative cooler can be used. Supply, and this is air conditioning room, recirculated air. So this is a central air conditioning system. So we can study the process. Suppose if we start from point number O, that is outside air. So first it is made to flow through the filter. So when it is flows through the desiccant wheel, that is rotary desiccant wheel, then it is dehumidified. So O2DL, it is heating and dehumidification, because some heating is also taking place here. So that is called as the chemical dehumidification. So O2DL is the heating and dehumidification process takes place. Then this is evaporation portion, where the actually the air that evaporator absorb the heat, so that the evaporator of heat pipe, so that evaporator of the heat pipe absorbs the heat from the process air. So the sensible heat is absorbed. So DL to PL, that is a sensible cooling of the air, because the evaporator absorbs the sensible heat from this. Then it mixes with the return air. So return air is close to the room temperature. So if the quantity of return air is more, then the point M is close to room temperature. So this is room temperature. So this M divides the line PR in the inverse ratio of masses involved. So obviously the mass of return air is greater. Then at point M, it is made to flow through the evaporator. Now the evaporator handles only sensible heat, because already latent heat is removed by the desiccant wheel. So M to S is the sensible heating, and then it enters into the room to absorb heat as well as moisture, that is S to R. So this is the process. Actually, otherwise, without desiccant wheel, that process would have been O to R. O to R is the O to S is the process, because this is the supply air. So this much amount of enthalpy difference is reduced. So substantially, the energy is reduced with the help of this desiccant wheel, you can see. So we can also represent the process of reactivated air. So this is dotted line is reactivated air. So reactivated air, it first made to, that is again outside air. That is a common point. That outside air is made to flow through the condenser portion. So the condenser portion, it gives up heat to the air. So the air gets heated. That is O2XL. O2XL. Then it made to flow through the gas heater. So where again it further its temperature increases from XL to RG without increasing its humidity, because specific humidity remains constant. That is XL to RG. And at RG, then it made to flow through the desiccant wheel, where that is actually a regeneration process, because already the moisture, whatever the moisture absorbed here, so that desiccant will dissipate the moisture to this reactivated air. So RG to RO, that is removal of moisture from the desiccant wheel. So this completes the cycle. So this is a hybrid desiccant air conditioning system, where there is a combination of a desiccant wheel, the heat pipe heat exchanger, evaporator, or alternate device that is indirect. Instead of evaporator, we can also use, this is optional device, that is indirect evaporative cooler. So again, we can see when we use this desiccant dehumidifiers, means maybe a liquid desiccant dehumidifier, or this is solid desiccant dehumidifier. When this dehumidifier used in combination with conventional system, it reduces the latent load of conventional system substantially. So the system becomes energy efficient. This is another novel hybrid desiccant air conditioning system. It's a simple system that is dehumidification or rotary wheel. So ambient air is made to flow where it absorbs moisture, it exchanges heat, then it made to flow through evaporator where it gets cooled, and that dehumidified and cooled air is used for the application. For reactivation, first the energy is recovered from condenser. So instead of heater, because condenser, the purpose of this air is also to condense the refrigerant. When that air becomes hot, it is further heated in the heater, and for reactivation, it is made to flow over the desiccant wheel. So this is absorption process and desorption process happens. So there are different configurations available in the market. So a lot of project, it gives a lot of idea for the project. This desiccant systems, you can think about the liquid desiccant dehumidifier, solid desiccant dehumidifier, combination of both, that is hybrid desiccant wheels. So a lot of projects it can generate. And as this is an advanced air conditioning system, and mainly it saves the energy. So it actually contributes to the energy as well as society. So this is a typical model of desiccant based AHU. So in the AHU also the desiccant wheel is mounted along with the evaporative or heating coils. So the major advantages of desiccant wheel, the less electric consumption, as alternative energy sources can be used. So along with desiccant wheel, it allows us to use low energy consumption or evaporative coolers as well. So that's why energy consumption can be reduced if we are using alternative energy sources like evaporative coolers. Desiccant air conditioning system results in drier ductwork to prevent mold and bacteria. So generally, when the desiccants are used, the air becomes dry, and dry air, when it flows through the ductwork, so there is no possibility of mold or bacteria growth, because bacteria growth is generally happens in moist condition, and it prevents that mold and bacteria. So that is a second advantage. Then it improves the air quality. Obviously, when the air is free from bacteria, then the air quality is obviously improved. Then in a desiccant based air conditioning system, it is more convenient to have a built-in heat recovery if the supply and return ducts are located close together. So these desiccant wheels are also used in association with heat recovery. That is, this is energy recovery. So energy recovery, it recover the energy from return air. So this is suppose a return air. So it recovers that particular energy. So this energy wheels are nothing but again the same structure, but that structure is made up of high conductive material. So it absorbs like a regenerator function. So this energy wheel, it recovers the sensible heat from the return air, and also this is actually a process air, we can say, and this is a return air. So from return air, it recovers that sensible heat, and the desiccant wheel, it again absorbs the moisture. It is used for the reactivation. So there are many applications where the desiccant wheel is used along with the energy recovery wheel. So that is another advantages. So when you are using desiccant based air conditioning systems, generally the two ducts, supply ducts and return ducts, are located close together. So we can install both wheels there. Uh, then when we are using desiccant wheel, it allows us to use the evaporative coolers, which are CFC, HCFC free. That's why HFC or CFC refrigerants are not used in evaporative coolers. So desiccant wheels are very much effective along with the evaporative coolers, especially indirect evaporative coolers. Integration with conventional system to remove latent heat load can reduce energy consumption substantially. That we have already seen in two practical desiccant systems, that is liquid desiccant air conditioning system and hybrid desiccant, hybrid solid desiccant air conditioning system. In both cases, the load on air conditioning coil is substantially reduced. Its operational cost is obviously low because as the load reduces, operational cost is also low. These desiccant-based air conditioning systems are generally suitable for certain applications. So they are mainly used for in supermarkets, outdoor air makeup units, surgical operating rooms where the 100% fresh air is used, ice rinks. According to field experience, the following are the conditions under which a desiccant-based air conditioning system should be used. Generally, it is recommended if the dew point requirement is less than 4 degrees Celsius. If there is a need of dehumidification of large amount of outdoor air, then this system is beneficial. There is a need of lower space relative humidity at lower space temperature. So when the space humidity requirement is low, then this desiccant based air conditioning system is beneficial. And if the sensible heat factor, if it is less than 0.7, that means the sensible heat contribution is less. In that case, our latent heat contribution is more. In that case, it is advantageous. So that's it. At the end of this particular topic, you should be able to describe different types of desiccants, mainly liquid desiccants and solid desiccants. So 2 types of liquid desiccants and 4 types of solid desiccants we have seen. Then you should be able to explain the cyclic dehumidification process, then construction working of liquid desiccant spray tower along with their combination of conventional system, then solid pack tower, and the hybrid cycle along with the processes on psychrometric chart. Finally, you should be able to discuss the advantages of the system, how it saves the energy, and under which circumstances this particular system is recommended. So that's it. In the next lecture, we will study the second advanced air conditioning system, that is evaporative, especially indirect evaporative coolers. Thank you very much.